tuning in. Thanks for being part of our program. Here we are together again on the radio. A listener named Raul sent me a link to another outrageous column written for Match.com that has also appeared on MSN.com. I guess they share materials or whatever. And this is written by someone who says, oh, and by the way, it's amazing who gets to write now for some of these websites. You know, you write for one website, and then that's your credential writing for another website. It says at the bottom here, Chelsea Kaplan's blog, which is called I'm Somebody's Mother, ? Can be found at chelseakaplan.com. That's who wrote this piece, Chelsea Kaplan. It's like reading a letter from a listener, only worse. Here is the column written for Match.com and reappearing on MSN.com's dating and personal section, sent by Raul, a listener. It's called How to Win Over a Bad Boy. Here it is. Are you someone who might as well adopt the mantra, if loving a bad boy is wrong, I don't want to be right? If so, you may benefit from the wit and wisdom of Lauren Francis, celebrity love coach. What is a love coach? Holy cow. You know what? When SUVs go away and $5 cups of coffee are going away, love coaches, they're going away too. I'm telling you right now. As people cut their budgets, I think love coach will be right at the top of the list of things to cut. Sorry, this just isn't working out. I'm trying to tighten my belt here. I can't afford a love coach anymore. Yes, Lauren Francis, celebrity love coach and author of Dating, Mating, and Manhandling, the Ornithological Guide to Men. She's comparing men to birds. I'll save you the time of looking it up. Francis has spent countless years researching the behavior of hardened bachelors and coaching the lovelorn. How has she researched that behavior? Have I done her? Was she taking notes? God damn it. Says here she's discovered that there are secret ways to make many bad boys swoon. Yeah, looked like Selma Hayek 10 years ago. That would be one way. And also some tried and true methods for breaking your addiction to these heartbreaker types. So if you've got it bad for a bad boy, read on as she shares her wisdom. And then it's in the form of questions and answers. Here you go. Question. You say there are really only two types of men. Do tell. The answer. Most men fall into one of two categories. Marrying men and hardened bachelors, a.k.a. bad boys. In my private practice as a love coach, gag me, many women in relationship trouble often don't know how to tell the difference between the two. And that's the problem. They fail to see the telltale signs of a man who's really relationship material or a man who's a bad boy. Question. What are the signs of a marrying man? Answer. It's not particularly tough to spot this type of guy. He says things like, I'm looking to get married, with the ease of a man saying, my company's looking for a receptionist. He brings up the subject of marriage, family, and commitment on his own unflinchingly and without prodding. When dating, he asks questions like, what was your last relationship like? To understand whether you qualify as a marriage-minded woman. Marrying men like being in relationships, meow. Because in truth, men only marry the women they need. Bad boys just keep burning through women and then replace them with different models, who sometimes are models. You hate to see that. Question. So how would you define and describe a bad boy? Answer. He can date in every age range and shag whomever he wants. Because he's charismatic and handsome, he is also a master at making women feel really, really special because he loves them. These men aren't monogamous. They don't have to be. They have so many opportunities to cheat, they figure, what's a bonbon or two when you've been offered the whole darn box? Question. How can single women really easily identify a bad boy? Sometimes it's not that easy. Answer. They often make wisecracks about how unhappy all of their married friends are. Yeah. Bad boys often run in tight little groups comprised of other sexy, equally unavailable males. My boys here in the studio, for example. Their long-term primary relationships are often with each other. But they are available to women for sex, fun, short-term romance, long-term, non-exclusive sexual arrangements, I love those, or marriages made solely for their convenience, which will likely be riddled with affairs. Beneath it all, though, most bad boys are still traumatized from a twisted relationship deep in their past with a mommy or an ex. That's a female point of view designed to make women feel better about this whole thing. Question. Is it ever worth it to date a bad boy? It's mostly who women date. Hello? Answer. Bad boys are perfect playmates for women who aren't looking for a serious relationship. Like divorced women who don't want to get remarried and are just ready for excitement and fun. In fact, mature women are usually the only suitable partners for bad boys. They're wise enough to understand the value of what he has to offer without making the mistake of falling in love with him. The thing to remember about these guys is that you will never come first. He's totally self-involved, so keep your expectations realistic. Am I totally self-involved? You bet I am. I live with the only person who completely understands me. The person who loves me the most. Me. It says here, be in it for fun and fun only. And try not to expect more because a bad boy will not be able to give it to you. Oh, he'll be able to give it to you, all right. Resist the temptation to think you're different, that you can change him. Because you can't. No matter how fantastic you are, it really is not you, it's him. By the way, you can't change anybody. Hello? It's just that the guy who wants to get married is already doing what you want him to do. Question. Can a woman ever win over a bad boy? Answer. If she looks like Jessica Alba before the pregnancy. No, that's not what it says. It says, bad boys all have one thing in common, a need for space. Right. His rigid boundaries ensure that you'll remain far too distant for real intimacy to occur. That's right. As soon as he feels he's being emotionally hemmed in, he'll panic. This is one reason why these men prefer dating very young women. They know that most young girls aren't ready for marriage and won't pressure him much. By the way, the pronoun did not agree. It's they earlier in the sentence. Make any sense at all? If in the extremely rare instance when a bad boy actually lets his guard down long enough to fall in love, know that he'll be virtually tool-free when it comes to working out a real relationship. Oh, he's not tool-free. Just not the tool you were expecting. He's often immature. See, you're immature if you won't sign a contract and let a woman handcuff you to 50 years of hell. You're immature. Immature, petty, prone to jealousy, and then some. By the way, I am not the least bit jealous. Can I tell you something? I am not the least bit jealous. I'm hoping you're bagging somebody else because it's one less night you'll be able to bombard me with phone calls and text messages. Please have sex with other people. Please. When you're not, you never leave me alone. By the way, do you know how many women are going to think I'm talking specifically about them? And they're all going to text me now and start blowing up my phone. I heard you talking about me on the radio. Sweetheart, you're one of many minions. Please. Yes, it says here, frankly, in most cases, you'll know that the relationship needs to end. It has to be you, and you alone realizing this. It won't come from all of your friends and family members continually reminding you how wrong he is for you. But when you figure it out and get over him, it's the kind of experience that teaches you a lot of good lessons. And a lot of good humping, too. No doubt about it. So there you go. That's the story. Now, all this stuff is total silliness because the bottom line here is there's more than two kinds of guys, but may I just say that guys who are bad boys or whatever you want to call us, we just don't want to be committed to any one person. And most of us don't lie about it either. We either have money, power, or fame, or we are, GQ models. But the bottom line here is that we all have things going for us. We have what you want. And what's great about us is that we're not going to give it to you. But you think, because you've got a vagina, that somehow you'll get it from us just by putting out. So our goal as the so-called bad boys is to get as much vagina from you as possible. And then, after a while, when you realize you're not going to get what you want and we're not going to change, then you threaten to break up with us like this is some kind of a threat. But in reality, it's the completion of a perfect crime. Because just about the time you're ready to dump us, we're fed up with you anyway. We're ready to move on. We've got other action ready to go. So what happens is you give yourselves up to us in the false hope that you'll be able to turn us around. Then, when you can't turn us around, you get angry at us. You're so immature, and you'll never change. You'll never change. Damn straight I won't. Well, that's it. I'm not going to see you anymore. There's the door. See it. Nobody knows this better than I do. Now, I know there's plenty of other guys like me out there who've got something going for them, money, power, fame. GQ appearance, whatever. But the bottom line is we all know what women never seem to understand. And if we're smart enough, we never give it up. We know we've got what women want. And they believe that they have the ability to take what we have, to get the keys to the vault, to get the keys to our houses, to get our become additional card holders on our American Express cards or whatever it is. But in the real world, they'll never get any of that stuff. Never, never, never. They'll never get it. By the time they figure that out, we've already gotten what we wanted. It's the perfect crime. Am I wrong?
1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
When you're alone, you wake up, you got 100 different things you can do in one day, right? When you're in a relationship, you have one thing, what she wants to do.
It's the Tom Leykis Show.
It's the Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Okay. We're talking about the story about this was sent up by a listener named Raul. And I really liked it because it talks about how to tell the marrying kind from the bad boys. God, you gotta love that. 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. John on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom. How are you?
Do you care?
Yes, I care very much, Father.
I'm doing great, son.
Well, the first thing I'd like to say is I have much respect for you, and I listen to your show all the time, and so does my teenage son. And I hear you talking about you being a bad boy, and you refer to yourself as a bad boy. But for me, you saying that is like me comparing myself to you. There is no me comparing myself to you because there is only one of you. And you comparing yourself to a bad boy, somebody on my level, there's no way. You don't compare. And you honestly wouldn't last 5 minutes in my shoes.
How so?
Well, I don't want to say what I'm into, and it's, but I'm just telling you, and it's been like that ever since I've been a young adult. But like I said, I have much respect for you, Tom, and I listen to you all the time. And my son is sitting right here next to me. He'd like to say hello. You might
No. Tell him to buy a phone, okay, or a radio. But the guy calls in, says I wouldn't last 5 minutes in his shoes. I say, okay, why not? He doesn't want to tell me what he does or what he's into. I have no idea what he's talking about, but really this is all about getting his son on the air. No. 1-800-5800-TOM. If you want to talk to me, you dial the phone. You talk to Dean. You go through the screening process. And Dean will decide whether you get on the air. We're not here to take calls from your sister or your mother or your wife. It's you we want to talk to. 1-800-5800-866. We're talking about this piece from Match.com called How to Win Over a Bad Boy. Dalton is listening to the online stream in Chicago on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Dad, what's going on?
Not much, son.
It's good to hear from you, man. First of all, I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much. You really helped my financial house in order to get my credit repaired and everything. So I really appreciate a little kick in the ass, you know.
Good.
Yeah, but, I just tuned into the last, 30 seconds of this article, and that's all I had to hear. And, there's so many of these damn articles written all the time. They're trying to change guys. And here's the thing. I don't know what the big deal is, because these chicks use the bad boys what they're good for. Don't try to change what's not broken. You know what I mean?
Yeah, why would you want to win over a bad boy? He's a bad boy.
I know. I mean, these ladies, they're stressing over something that's not need to be stressed over. And the thing is, even if they did change the bad boy, for some act of God, got him to be a nice guy and settle down and get married, they wouldn't find him sexy, like, for the reason they did initially. He'd be some ballless pussy.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So I don't get it, and, whatever. I'm glad you're doing what you're doing. And if you got 10 more seconds, I need a little pep talk because my game's in the toilet right now.
What happened?
Oh, I don't know. It's just bad karma or something. But I like the Cougars. That's kind of my thing lately, and I can't even pick them up. I don't know what the deal is. And I'm a good-looking guy. I make decent money. I'm very well educated, dress well, the whole bit.
And when you go to a joint, do you try to pick these chicks up? Do you talk to them?
I'm kind of a quiet guy. I'm not real chatty. I'm not socially awkward or anything. I'm just not a real chatty guy. You know what I mean? So I don't really know how to meet them. I've never really liked girls my age either. So. Well,
I mean, the way you meet them is you go to places where the older chicks hang out, which is, for example, dance clubs called polyesters. There's a chain called polyesters. There's a bunch of them around. Yeah. And they play music from the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, right.
They hang out at places like that. They hang out at piano bars.
Yeah, see, I go there I go to one usually every Saturday after my events, and it's no luck. I don't know what the hell I'm doing wrong, Tom.
And when do you make a real effort to meet them? Because I would recommend you don't.
No?
No, I would recommend you ignore them.
Just sit there and just sip on my Tanqueray?
Like you're waiting for somebody else, like a buddy to show up.
Okay.
You have to look like you've got better things to do than talk to them. Because women...
anything for a piece of ass.
Yeah, but let me tell you something. Women are attention whores. And cougars are like 10 times worse.
Really?
With them showing off their boob jobs and standing around, they're all looking for attention.
Mm.
If you give them attention, they will toss you like a Kleenex. What you have to do is not pay attention to them.
Okay.
You go to a bar, first of all, you have to believe in your head that going to a bar, hanging out with the bartender and having a few drinks would be perfectly okay with you. So that you don't look like you're desperate.
Right. Okay.
For me...
that may be my problem, but keep going.
Well, for me, going to a bar and watching the NBA playoffs and having a few drinks and shooting some bull crap with the bartender, that's a perfectly great evening.
Okay.
So if you are prepared to do that and you look convincing at that, and so you go in there and you do not start conversations with these women. You go in, dressed appropriately, and you are there essentially waiting for a buddy to show up. I'm telling you, women can't stand to be in the presence of men who don't pay attention to them. And then they will try to make contact with you.
That's completely counter everything all my little pickup artist friend taught me. But you know what? I trust you over them. You got age, you got the status and everything, and they're just 25-year-old punk kids. So I'm gonna take your advice, Dad.
Try it out, son. See how it works out. Let me know.
I will. Thanks.
All right, thank you. There goes Dalton. Wow. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. We're talking about the piece written from Match.com called How to Win Over a Bad Boy. And in this piece, it purports to tell how you can tell the marrying kind from the bad boys. This is Mark on the Tom Leykis show. Hello.
Hey, Dad, what's cracking? How you doing?
Somebody's ass as soon as I get out of here.
Damn, boy. Hey, Tom, you know that caller that just called about the bad boy? You know, I think I know what he's talking about. Somebody like you, Tom, you're more like a pimp than a bad boy.
How so?
Well, for instance, me, I'm a bad boy. I go after the girls, and, if somebody's got something to say to me I don't like, I headbutt them, because I'm a bad boy. I don't take that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Whereas you're a pimp. You're more into the girls, but if anybody messes with you, you're not on that same level as a bad boy would be.
Well, like, I understand. I'm using the term the way they used it in this piece. And in this piece, they're not referring to guys who will get into violent confrontations. They're just referring to guys, they call them the bad boys because, well, they just use women for sex, so they don't want to get married. That's how they're defining a bad boy.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm with that. I'm with you, Dad. Can you take me out with a Bonto?
I certainly can.
No cough.
1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. I just think it's the perfect crime. I love how women will try to come to a guy like me who's living alone, uncommitted, not married, whatever, and they will do everything they can, including give me whatever I want sexually, in order to get me under the tent, to get me to sign the contract. Then when I don't, they get mad at me. And then, to punish me, they tell me they'll never see me again. I'm like, that's exactly what I was hoping for, goddammit.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
You can have an opinion, I just don't want to know what it is.
Why is that?
Because I just want you to put your left leg at the 12 and your right leg at the 3.
Oh, that is so irritating to hear you say that.
It's the Tom Leykis Show.
It's the Tom Leykis Show. 1-800-5800-TOM. That is our telephone number. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of the program. We appreciate it. Okay. We're talking about a piece that was written for, of all things, Match.com. It appeared on MSN.com and their dating and relationships page. Dating and personals, whatever. It's called How to Win Over a Bad Boy. And the bottom line here is, the bad boy is somebody who's going to bang you and clang you, pump you and dump you, use you and lose you. Get used to the idea. He'll be good in the sack because he gets lots of practice, and then he's going to boot you to the curb. So you do a few of these guys, and when you've had enough, then you go marry Poindexter in the IT department. And then when Poindexter's out to work during the day, you take out the power tools and think about the old days with the bad boy. Is this complicated? I don't think so. Women thinking that you'd be a good catch or you'd be a good husband, you'd be a good father, I find that stuff insulting. Anytime a woman says that to me, I say, no, you got me wrong. I am not a good father. I am not husband material, okay? I'm going to use you. I'm going to have sex with you as much as possible. You're going to try to change me. I'm not going to change. You're ultimately going to get frustrated. You're going to threaten to stop seeing me. I'm going to say, well, you do what you have to do. It's so simple. And not only that, here's the beauty part. There are women listening to me right now who will try this on me someday, thinking they're the one who's going to change me because they've got the magic vagina. Every one of them thinks they've got the magic vagina that's going to make me change. And they're all going to find out the hard way. And not only that, even as I say they're all going to find out the hard way, they're out there right now going, no, I can change. I can do it. They all think they can. Then when they don't, they get angry at me. And then they tell everybody what an a-hole I am. I want to be the guy they call the a-hole. I want to be the guy they say, what a jerk, what a creep. I don't want to be the guy that said, he's a teddy bear, he'd make a perfect husband. He's a You know what? He says he doesn't want to have kids, but I know he'd be a perfect father. Oh, yeah. I'd be a great father. Oh, wait. I had such a good example myself. 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. This is Anthony on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Anthony.
Hey, first off, let me say it's a pleasure to talk to you.
I'm sure.
Second off, let me say that the woman writing this should have put pussies and Leykis listeners. That's what we are. And I got a story for you, because it's funny you brought this up. It happened to me less than 45 minutes ago. A girl I had met on God's greatest website, Craigslist, I've been fooling around with her for the past couple of weeks. You know, it's one of those things where I go see her and do my business and then leave, just like you said, a urinal. And then today she thought, you know, she was the one who was going to say, well, I'm not going to have sex with you anymore unless we have a relationship. And I told her, sorry, not into that. She threw herself in front of the door and started to cry hysterically. Then I said, when I told her that, I'm sorry, I'm not into that. Finally, after about an hour of crying, she stood up, went to the bathroom. I left, went home, got on the same website, and now I'm on my way to go meet up with a 35-year-old whose husband is out of town.
I love that. I totally love it. I think that's great. And women just don't get it. Like the woman who wrote this piece. They don't get it.
Oh, this isn't the first time either, man. It's just an endless cycle. But, hey, I'm having fun in the process, man.
I totally love it.
Can you take me out African with a little Kurt Cobain?
I certainly can. Oh, yeah. 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Let's say hello to Jared on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom. Good to talk to you.
I know.
I just wanted to comment on the article. And I didn't know until about 2 seconds ago that it was written by a woman. I just turned my radio on. But I wanted to say that the article itself is almost an admission by this woman that women in general are pretty irrational. And that, you know, they want to, sex, as long as it's not rape, is consensual. So as long as the woman knows she's having a one-night stand with a man, I mean, it's completely irrational for them to expect someone to call them back, you know? So I just wanted to chime in on that and sort of say how completely, it's almost as if this woman's hurting her cause in writing this article. I just wanted to chime in on that.
Well, I mean, again, all it's showing... By the way, women all fantasize about these guys, but for whatever reason... See, I fantasize about the woman who turns into a six-pack in a sandwich after you F her. And I think women fantasize about the bad boy who Fs them hard and then wants to marry them and have children with them. That's the person who doesn't exist.
Yeah, I can't understand why... It's just like anything else. If you give it to them on the first night, why is there any reason to stick around? And it's just completely, it makes no sense that she would write that. And it makes women look stupid, almost.
Totally. Not only that, you can tell there's some guy from her past you'd like to be getting boned by right now.
Yes. So if you, that's all I want to say. If you could take me out old school style.
I certainly can. Here you go. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Let's say hello here to Steve on the Tom Leykis Show.
Hey, Dad. How you doing?
Doing okay, son?
Fun. I just want to comment on this story, man. I was actually dating a girl, and I actually went over to her apartment one night, and, you know, we fooled around, whatever. She went to the bathroom. I actually saw a book that said, like, how to get a bad boy. So I was curious. I started looking through it, and it's funny. Like, they have a distinction, because a lot of people don't know the distinction between a bad boy and a player. Because I did. I thought it was one and the same. But actually, a lot of women are really attracted to you know, that bad boy persona, the charisma, the confidence. But the difference between a player and a bad boy is, like you always say, honesty. You know what I mean? Because a lot of guys that call your show are idiots, you know, have a girlfriend or have wives, you know, a wife, and, you know, mess around with the other girls, you know, going through that whole mess. You know, but if you're honest with them and you tell them, you know what, you know, this is the way it is, this is the way I want it, and that's it. Women respect that. And I don't care what a woman says and says no, that, or whatever. I don't care what they say. I know that's the truth. That has to be the truth based on the article that's written, you know, on Match.com. And then there's books out there that how to get a bad boy. You know, I'm sure, you know, there's women out there that love it. They love bad boys. They just don't like when you lie to them. You know what I mean?
Well, I know they like when you lie to them. They don't like knowing that you're lying to them. I mean, for example, there's not a woman out there who you think is chunked up a bit who wants you to say that she looks fat in that dress. Women love when you lie to them. They love it. They love when you lie to them and say you love them, even when you don't. They love it.
Right. But when it comes, you know, to really what you want, why even go through that mess?
Oh, I don't. I know
you don't. Yeah, but a lot of your listeners do that, and it gets me like, why would you go through that?
No, for me, the beauty part is that I use the truth. I mean, the bald-faced truth. I use it because women can't believe it could possibly be true.
Yeah.
They can't believe that I could care so little about any one of them.
Yeah, and they love it. They eat it up. They eat it up.
Right.
Like you were telling your listener about that whole bar scene. I've done that before. And, you know, just go there, shoot the breeze with the bartender. You see women chime in on the conversation, put in their little 2 cents. All of a sudden, I'm over here having conversation with them, and I'm going home with them. It's like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of them think they're going to convert you into somebody who will want to marry them.
Exactly. That's the problem. See, yeah.
No, it's not the problem. It's the beauty part, because you don't want to keep them around anyway. So the minute they bring that up, you've got a perfect exit.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, that's the way it works. That's the way. Typically, I'll date a woman for about like 2 months before she starts going, oh well, you know, either we become exclusive or else. And it's like, oh, so I was like, all right, well, good knowing you. Bye. Simple. They cry, they moan, whatever, but it doesn't faze me. That's just the way it works. You know what I mean?
I do.
I'm a Tom Leykis listener to the fullest.
And so you use it, and you get laid a lot, and you don't end up getting stuck with any one woman.
That's the name of the game. I don't know why guys, don't do that more often. I don't know why guys get married, have kids. And I just don't understand it.
Because they've got no game.
It doesn't take that much game. That's it's so ironic. It's not that difficult. It's just if you do it the right way, you're fine. But whatever. That's why you're doing public service and trying to help these guys out. With I listen to you loyally. So yeah. So can you take me out Kobe style?
I certainly can, Steve. Here you go.
This is about us. She's so special to me. Yeah, it beats in my heart. Yeah, the air I breathe. She's so special to me.
1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. This is Raleigh on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Dad.
Son, how are you?
Oh, I'm good. I just wanted to touch back on something you said a few minutes ago about finding it insulting when women call you husband material.
Yeah.
I think that's not right. If you lower them into that false insecurity, you can get a lot more out of them.
Yeah, but you also run the risk they'll put pinholes in your condoms.
Oh, no. Those are on lockdown, Dad. Lockdown. They never get near them.
Tell us how you do this.
Well, the first thing I do when I meet a girl, I tell them first right off the bat. I'm like, look, I'm looking for marriage, and I tell them this right off the bat because all of a sudden they let their guard down. Oh, he's looking for a relationship. I tell them I'm looking for marriage, and I tell them if I don't see this ending in marriage, I'm going to end it. It might be sudden. You're not going to expect it, but it's going to be ending because I respect you, and I don't want to waste both of our time. So right there I lay out that pre-planned exit strategy. And so when you tell them all this, they think, oh, this is such a good guy, and they're not on the lookout that you're trying to screw them over.
But don't you run the risk that they're going to refuse to give you what you want because they really want to get it from bad boys?
Oh, no, because you keep it edgy enough. You don't answer all their phone calls. You know, when they send you a text message, you don't respond. You keep them on their toes. You keep them wanting it, but yet they're still thinking, oh, this guy really likes me. He respects me, when I'm just getting mine.
Is that so?
It's worked for me. And you know what? And Dad, you taught me this. I've been listening to you for 5 years now. I'm 22 years old. And all through high school, I was that nice guy. I was that, oh, you know, I'm not like these other guys. I'm going to be nice and sweet, and they'll really appreciate me. Nah, that doesn't work.
Well, I'm glad to see you're getting somewhere, Raleigh. I thank you for that. Kevin, on the Tom Leykis show, hello.
Dad, how are you?
Son, I'm doing great.
Well, a couple years ago, I'm 33. A couple years ago, I was seeing this 20-year-old casino worker. And we were going out I would say going out. She'd come over, I'd make a deposit, she'd leave. It was a nice little situation. Did that for about 2 months, and she wants to have a relationship. And I told her no. So she left crying, and didn't hear from her for a couple of weeks. And she calls me up and says, you know, that night I left, I was so devastated. I went out to a friend's house, and I had sex, and now I think I'm pregnant. It's all your fault.
It's all your fault.
Yep, she said I emotionally abused her by not going into a relationship with her. She says she was so distraught that I told her no, that she had to go out and get drunk and have a one-night stand. It was all my fault.
I think it's great. I'm laughing my ass off because who's going to end up paying for that in the end? Not you.
Not me. No, sir, not me at all. I said, if you're that mad, why don't you name the kid after me? And, you know, you can always remember how mad you were and the reason you had this kid.
I think that's great.
But yeah, I had a series of girls like that in a row, and anytime they asked to be serious, I said, "Oh, I got stuff to do. You got to go," and that was it.
I think it's fantastic. Thank you so much for that, Kevin. Our email address is my name. It's Tom at blowmeuptom.com. Tom at blowmeuptom.com.
The Tom Leykis Show.